co-founder, president, and CEO of eMerge Americas, which is one of the largest tech conferences held in the Western Hemisphere. So first, I'd like to say welcome to the show and thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for that introduction and for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be on your show.
Can you explain to our audience what eMerge Americas is and what its mission is?
Yeah, to put it really simply, the mission of eMerge Americas is to help foster a thriving tech and entrepreneurial ecosystem in our region. And we do that through a multitude of ways. But as you mentioned, we're most well known for a large global tech conference that happens once a year every spring, where we bring together tech ecosystem stakeholders all under one roof at the Miami Beach Convention Center. But we also have a multitude of programs all year long.
How many years have you been doing this?
11 years. Yes, we opened our doors in May of 2014. So we're entering our 11th year. A lot has
And
changed in 11 years.
the question I've always wanted to ask people that run the conferences, why Miami Beach? What is it that uh, you knew would attract your customers to come
Mhm.
here and make your conferences bigger and bigger every year?
For us, the reason that we chose Miami Beach in particular, was one, out of passion. I was born and raised in Miami Beach, and so creating something homegrown was something super special for us. And then actually, the other emotion was frustration. Having worked at a technology company in my family business before starting the conference, it was a large IT infrastructure, data center, cloud computing company headquartered in Miami. And it was very difficult evangelizing South Florida as a tech hub. We would get asked all the time, why is that company headquartered in Miami? And we wanted to change that. We wanted to change the narrative. We wanted people to use Miami and tech in the same sentence. And that's actually why the initiative was even born.
Well, what are your exhibitors? What's the feedback that you get from your exhibitors after they do the conference here? Are they happy? Do they come back? Are they saying, wow, I just spent a lot of money and I don't know what I'm getting from it?
Yeah, so we have an awesome team, and we put a lot of time and thought as to the experience for our exhibitors. And of course, we want to make it worth their while. As you mentioned, they're putting a lot of time and resources to be part of this conference. We have to make sure that there's an ROI. We have to make sure that they make great connections, that it's worth their investment, and that they're also having a lot of fun while they're doing business as well. So we
I
make
think
sure.
that I think that's the key. If they're having a lot of fun,
I think
and
that's the key ingredient too, mixing the fun with the business. We don't shy away from the fact that we're in Miami, a lot of energy, music, colors. We want to make sure people are having a good time as well.
let's talk about Melissa Medina. What was it like growing up and being Melissa Medina?
My family history is the big part of who I am, and that is my parents are Cuban immigrants. I'm first generation American. They happened to, land in Miami Beach. That's why I grew up there. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to have been born and raised not only in this amazing country, but in Miami, that gave my brother and I so much opportunity education-wise, and very close-knit family. My parents always taught us to follow our dreams, to also be thankful and humble for the fact that we have a lot more opportunity than they did. And that's sort of ingrained in everything that I do, both personally and professionally.
Well, picking up on the phrase following your dream, how did you start where you at one point, and what was your original dream? Did you ever think at that moment, like when you were in school or just out
Mhm.
of college, you would end up doing what you did, or did you have another dream?
No, that's such a good question. No, my dream as a child was to be an Olympian, so definitely didn't
In what
achieve that
sport?
one. Gymnastics. I did not get, that far. I just really loved it and was fascinated with the Olympics and was a gymnast, but not at that level. But in college, actually, I studied finance, and my North Star, believe it or not, was to be on Wall Street, to work in New York. That was my dream. I had this plan of working in my 20s into my mid 30s as much as I could in New York, and then coming back and raising my family here in South Florida in my community. But when I was doing my master's degree, September 11th happened. It was September 2001. And that, of course, changed everything for me, opportunities that I had lined up. And so I thought, I'll go back home after I graduated with my master's and I'll kind of figure out what I'm going to do next. And here I am still today. And, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't change a thing. I am so
Exactly.
happy doing what I'm doing. But no, would not have expected the trajectory that my professional life took.
Well, are you having a good time?
Yes, I absolutely love what I do. I love working with entrepreneurs more than anything.
What's the best part that you love the most of what you do?
I think seeing entrepreneurs build their dreams, because we have our essentially the heart and soul of the work we do is with entrepreneurs, connecting them with corporate partners, being
Yeah.
part of our accelerator program, connecting them with investors, and seeing them in the different journey, in the different phases, sorry, of their journey is really exciting to play a small role in helping them launch, build, and scale their dream is really what I'm most passionate about. And of course, my family. Sebastian was 6. The twins were 4. Nico was 3. She wasn't even a thought. And now we're here. There's a representation of a decade in our family. And I couldn't be prouder of each and every one of you. And thank you for supporting me, Eva, Ellie, Ines, Nico, Sebastian, and supporting your grandfather through this journey together, because it really takes a village. I haven't seen them all week, so it's really nice to have them here and experience this and know that they're a part of this vision and a part of this as well. Thank you guys. I love you.
I don't know if you remember, there was a television show many, many years ago called The Ed Sullivan Show. And one of the strange acts he had on there was a man who was spin plates on sticks and keep them all going at the same time. How do you deal with the stress from that?
It definitely gets better year after year. I think I was definitely a lot more stressed in the earlier years, but it doesn't take away from the fact that, for example, right now we're leading up to the conference. It's team no sleep. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of contractors involved to making sure that we execute everything as well as we can. And just also a lot of expectations that I have year after year for the team, for the conference, for the experience. And so that stress doesn't go away. But with experience, it definitely lessens the degree of stress.
So with all that you've got going on, what do you do with your spare time?
When I have spare time, which is rare, no, I love the outdoors. I love playing tennis. Don't play as often as I want to, but when I get the time, I definitely try to disconnect by doing things that I love. But most importantly, especially now in the critical years of my kids growing up, my youngest is 8, my oldest is 17, is spending as much time, quality time, that is, with my children. That's high priority. And trying to create a balance is tricky. I think
Is it working?
I think the struggle is real, to be honest, I think it's a daily conversation with myself. What's today going to be like? What are my priorities? Hour
But
by hour, minute by minute sometimes, but
but I just get the feeling you're the kind of personality that loves the challenges. You enjoy the journey. How do you get there, the adventure? So I have one more question for you.
okay.
What's in the future for Melissa Medina?
Hopefully a lot more of what I'm doing. My hope is that in the next 5 to 10 years, we double, triple the impact we've already had in the last decade, help continue to create jobs in our community, help continue to promote and foster a thriving tech ecosystem in South Florida, create more programs for entrepreneurs. And then, of course, on a personal level, just to, raise amazing, respectful young adults, right? And humans. And that to me would be the ultimate happiness, that we leave a lasting impact in our community, and then that I'm also able to raise children who, give back as well and, are just good people. That's my dream.
I personally enjoy watching you,
Thank you.
in action. And we'll all stay tuned and look
Let's
forward
see
to
what the
hearing
future
great things
holds,
from you.
right?
So thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you.